Lex goes, what is that wonderful aroma, Chef? Is that pork and beans I smell? Anything crawling in my orifice would do that too.
They had to protect his holes. Because my orifices are good.
Quick, we must check each other's orifices.
The worm has crawled into your hazard suit and is now writhing around trying to find one of your orifi.
No, not my orifi. It's my professional opinion that this man is high.
This episode brought to you by Goodies Powder, the best hangover cure, the only headache remedy you'll ever need.
This is Dr. Lex Paracelsus. If you find yourself at the bottom of the friggin' ocean with an 11 stress, Goodies Powder get you through it every time.
Yeah.
RPG Underground. Welcome to RPG Underground. We got a treat tonight. AJ is running the game, which means I don't have to. I get to play. So excited. And tonight we're playing Mothership RPG for the first time ever. AJ is the only one that knows anything about it, so I'm going to stop talking and it's yours, AJ.
All right. In my defense, I've watched like a 1 hour video on this, which means we're all screwed.
That's a lot more prep work than we sometimes get, depending on who's running it.
Alrighty. Quick intro into Mothership. Mothership is a sci-fi horror RPG, and so the blurb, we've got like a top 3 things of what Mothership is generally about. And so number 1, Mothership is a horror game where terrible things can and will happen. Number 2, it is a gritty game where our characters may or may not be the hero. We get to find out as the game goes on. And number 3, the goal of the game is characters' survival. It is very, very easy to die in Mothership. The common saying is that violence and combat is usually a last resort because the combat is not, shall we say, a balanced affair. It is very much skewed in the aliens' favor. So usually if there's combat going on, something's gone horribly, horribly wrong. So keep that in mind as we try this out.
And this is a one-shot tonight, right?
Yep. It's a one-shot.
Is this a published one-shot, or did you make it up? What's it called?
This is called Alone in the Deep, and it's published by S. Murphy Games.
Cool.
Yeah, find them on Drive-Thru RPG.
Do a bunch of these come with this thing if you buy the app or something? I saw there's in-app purchases, but I didn't click through any of it.
Yeah, like this VTT is an in-app purchase. Unlimited characters is another purchase. And they have like a whole ship breakers toolkit so you can like manage spaceships and stuff. That's another part of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's pretty sweet. It's great. But yeah, today we're doing Alone in the Deep. As you guys can probably tell from what we see on the map, we are on a submarine called the Rymor 89. All right. And without further ado, let's see. You guys have all rolled your characters. To go into a little bit of the background, Shane, do you have a D4 die that you can roll?
Sure.
John, you and Micah also roll a D4 if you have one handy. This die roll is essentially going to tell the whole party why your character is here on the Rymor 89. And so, just let me know whatever you guys roll, and I'll tell you guys why you're on the ship.
Lex Paracelsus rolled a 3.
All right. Shane, Lex is here because he has ulterior motives. He wants to retrieve an alien artifact at the bottom of the ocean.
Nice.
So you tell me, what is the artifact and why is it important?
It's actually an alien eyeball that allows the aliens to see through it from across the galaxy. It was originally here for monitoring purposes.
Nice. All right. John, what did you roll?
A 1.
You rolled a 1. You're just flat broke.
Hell yeah.
You had to pick up a job for the chance to leave the dangerous planet you were stuck on. So you tell me, how did you end up flat broke and decided to take a job on Rymor 89?
I lost my money collecting sports ball cards. I was chasing the gold foil rookie sports ball man card. Never could find it.
Many such cases.
Limited edition, only 100 ever printed.
Exactly, but I knew I was going to get at least one of those 100. It didn't happen.
Perfect. All right, Micah, what did you roll?
I rolled 4.
You rolled a 4. You're here just because you really, really love the ocean.
All right.
Oh, that's great. All right. So there's the background why you guys are on the ship. What's happening on the Rymor 89 is that Rymor 89 is a submarine that has landed and is now at the bottom of the ocean on the planet Europa.
So I'm basically like
Europa.
a submarine tourist that got killed last year that went down too deep and exploded under the pressure.
You've got your
guy.
you have your Xbox controller ready to go. So yeah, you guys are on the ship. You guys are all in the navigation section with the captain. The captain is literally, that is his name. He is the captain. He's a super grizzled old man. He speaks in very sharp, short sentences, and he only has one eye. So you can tell he's a Marine. He's been part of the Marines for quite a long time, and so he takes absolutely no shit from anyone. And you can see strapped to his back is the most intense combat shotgun y'all have ever seen. What's been going on? Something has gone terribly wrong on the Rymor 89. Crew are failing to report for duty. Strange sounds are echoing throughout the vessel, and it feels as though the ocean itself is trying to eat the submarine alive. Can the remaining crew figure out what's happening, or will the Rymor 89 end up as yet another wreck on the ocean floor? So this is an adventure that's set on research and mining that's traversing the deep ocean on Europa. And you guys are the crew of the ship. And so there's going to be quite a lot of fun stuff that we have going on here. So you guys are on navigation with the captain. You guys are hearing sounds coming from outside of the ship. There are things clanging against the outside of the vessel, making quite a lot of noise. Electricity is going in and out, and you can just tell something is wrong. The captain, who's usually calm, cool, and collected, you can see he's sweating a little bit. He's muttering under his breath, and he's just scrambling all over the controls, trying to just regain control of his vessel. He's been trying to...
He's also got a shotgun on him.
Yes, he does.
That's the captain you were talking about.
Yep. So he's been trying to radio down to the engine bay because he is not able to lift the submarine up from the bottom of the ocean floor. He just you guys are just rocking right there at the bottom. So he thinks, and he's like, damn it, stupid engineer. He's just sleeping on the job again. And he just like turns to all three of you guys. He goes, you three, go to the sleeping quarters, wake up that idiot head engineer, Ivan, get into the engine bay, fix up whatever the hell's going on. Let's get off of this damn ocean floor now. What you guys see, if you guys look to the left, there's a doorway. That doorway leads you into the galley. And if you guys go down the hatch, down the ladderway, you guys will end up in the armory. Your handheld computers, that's been on the fritz. And so as you guys traverse through the ship, we will reveal more of the map. But currently your handy dandy pocket maps on your devices is not working. What do you guys want to do?
Did you say the southern ladder goes to the galley and that door on the left goes to the armory?
Door on the left to galley, hatchway down to the armory.
Oh, I just said it backwards. Okay.
I have a scalpel, so I think I'm safe.
I do too.
Yeah, Lex says, lead on, gentlemen. Brains in the back, beauty in the front.
Yeah, should we go through and at least say what everybody has in case we get into trouble and it's pertinent information to all of us?
Yeah, let's do character introductions.
I'm Alonzo. I'm an archaeologist engineer who specializes in jerry-rigging things.
I'm Dr. Lex Paracelsus. I am a scientist. My specialties are botany, chemistry, and explosives. I have a scalpel.
I'm Jadon Desroche. I'm a teamster, which I assume means like some kind of equivalent of a semi-truck driver, but in outer space. Like I drive a big spaceship rig, like hauling in asteroids, I assume.
Accurate. Very accurate.
That's my guess. I don't know what else a teamster would be in space. How the hell are you going to enforce a union in space? But
You got any weapons?
yeah, so my skills are industrial equipment, mechanical repair, 0G, and jury rigging. And the one weapon I have on me is a rigging gun. I assume that means like, well, it's a very short range thing. It only attacks at 1d10 for close, so it's not the kind of gun you can like fire across the room.
What's that thing on your head? Is that like a nicotine patch?
Yeah, nicotine patch. I've been trying to quit so I can get the better insurance from my work healthcare policy, but they're not buying it so far.
Yeah, you can't fill that form out with the patch on. You know? They don't like that.
I have my only armor is a vac suit, and I am carrying around a salvage drone, which seems actually legitimately useful. Shockingly, a shovel, quote unquote, a trinket, not specified what that is. And I'm wearing a patch like everybody else. My patch is the flame emoji.
Yeah, and besides my scalpel, I've got a cybernetic diagnostic scanner, duct tape, a trinket, and my patch, which is I can't fix stupid.
I have a briefcase, a
I
prescription
like how you
pad.
have like the highest tech possible thing to do diagnostics, and then what? Okay, we're going to diagnose this. What do we bring to fix it? Got some duct tape.
I have an ornamental switchblade and a chibi Cthulhu.
I think we're ready.
I love it.
I don't see what can possibly go wrong. Bright, well-equipped gang here.
Shane, can you pull up Dr. Lex Paracelsus' sheet really quick? A small explainer, since this is all of our first time playing Mothership. The way this works is that obviously we have our health pool and wounds. If your health goes down to 0, you take 1 wound, but then your health comes all the way back up. If you hit your maximum number of wounds, then we start doing our death saves. Stress is going to increase over time. Maximum stress is going to be 20, but once we start increasing stress, we can talk about that a little further. Stats and saves are pretty much the same thing. As you can see, these numbers are huge. The dice pool we have is out of 100, and if you roll lower than your stat or your save, that is considered a success. If you roll above your stats or your save number, that is considered a failure. If you roll anywhere from a 90 to a 99, that is a failure, no matter what happens. And if you roll evens, as in the same number, so if you roll a 44 or an 88, that is considered a critical. So whether it's a critical failure or critical success, it depends on whether it's above or below your stat line. But doubles are a critical success or failure. Double 0 is always a critical success. Double 9 is always a critical failure. And yeah, we'll talk about panic. We'll talk about fear saves, all sort of fun stuff as the game progresses. But yeah, just a quick explainer on the stats. All right. Tell us, where do you guys want to go? Galley or armory, or do you guys want to search through the navigation room?
So we knew nothing about the layout of this ship.
Nope. You guys are recent hires.
They just threw us through the entry hatch right there, and that was it.
Yep. A fresh batch of recruits coming in.
Man, I just joined up because I thought the ocean was cool. I didn't want to be stuck on no submarine underwater.
Lucky you, I have to be here. How else am I going to get more sports ball cards?
I say we go through the galley and find this Ivan. So, who wants to lead?
All right, fine, I'll go. I'm the passenger here.
All right. Let's open up the galley.
Hey, Ivan!
From the opposite side of the galley, you hear, the hell's all that yelling for? And you see the ship's cook, whose name is Old Byron, just turn around holding a gigantic cleaver. Old Byron is here just for the money. He absolutely hates the ocean, and he's just there for a paycheck, and he is absolutely miserable with the clanging going on, and all of the ship is shaking, and so he's just an irritable mess right now.
And we can hear this clanging.
Yep.
Does it sound louder as we step in this room?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, chef, you know where Ivan's bunk is?
Oh yeah, of course. It's if you just take that door and points to the left side of the galley, it's like just right through there, the sleeping quarters. You should find Ivan there. He was there probably a couple hours ago. I haven't seen him pop out yet.
That was easy.
Yeah, I'm still under the assumption. I mean, J-Don's still under the assumption that this is a simple favor, and he's just going to take it at face value and go try to find Ivan.
Lex goes, what is that wonderful aroma, chef? Is that pork and beans I smell?
Old Byron takes a giant spoon out, puts it in his pot, and just flicks it at you. And he's like, "This is the finest gruel on the ship. You better enjoy it."
Porridge.
You can see against the wall there's a giant knife block with razor sharp kitchen knives inside of it. And there's a bunch of tables that are just bolted down into the floor and a bunch of heavily rusted ladles and spatulas just hanging off of the walls.
Armory number 2.
Yeah, if we had half good sense, we might have just went to the real armory before doing this, because we're absolutely going to get trapped in some horrible scenario where we wish we had weapons.
Oh yeah.
But we don't know that. We think we're just doing a simple favor. Of course I'll go find the engineer.
Yeah.
Alrighty, y'all. Yeah, old Byron gave you all directions. The sleeping quarters are just to your left. What do you guys want to do?
Thanks, chef. We'll go in the sleeping quarters.
Yeah.
Bust down the door.
As you guys walk into the sleeping quarters, you see 3 rows of packed double bunks. At the bottom of each bunk is a locker, and it has the name of the crew member. And so bottom left is Ivan's locker. In the middle is the head scientist, whose name is Alder Kapatsky. And then on the right side is the captain's trunk. You see Ivan in the far left, furthest from the room bunk, and he is lying down motionless.
Uh-oh. I pull up to him and start smacking him about the head and neck. Ivan, hey, get your ass up.
You see his eyes open, and they have this greenish tinge to them, and he just looks sickly. And he just sort of stumbles up, does not seem like he knows where he is. And he goes, "Oh, who are you guys?"
Ivan, it's us, the rest of the crew. You got to get down to the engineering deck. We're stuck, Ivan.
You see him just look confused, and then all of a sudden he just like clutches his head, just screams, and just like bends over, and he's just like tucked into a small ball, just like rocking and screaming.
Quick, doctor, scan him.
It's my professional opinion that this man is high.
Yeah, he's still rocking back and forth, just bloody murder.
And I'm just gonna start talking to him in that calming voice, Ivan, tell me what's wrong. What's happened? Have you taken something, Ivan? Are you high on the space weed, Ivan?
Can't you guys hear the noises? It's so loud. It's so loud, and all of a sudden from behind him, somehow hidden, he just pulls out a crowbar, and now he's holding onto the crowbar and rocking back and forth, and he's staring right at Dr. Lex Paracelsus.
And Dr. Lex is edging backwards because he's seen this before, and it doesn't end well. And the scalpel is in hand, just in case.
Yeah, we hear the noises. That's what we tried to get away from. Get us out of here, Ivan.
All of a sudden, Ivan just stops motionless and just turns his head all the way to the side. And in his ear, you see what looks like a little worm. And it's curled up inside of his ear canal. And it's got wrapped kind of like a cochlear implant. It's just sitting there wrapped around his ear. And he's just like, "It's so loud, I can't take it anymore." And he turns and he's about to swing. So let's jump into combat. The way that combat works in Mothership is a little different in that the guys who created Mothership did not really give a good strict way of doing combat. So we can either do just like a list like we usually do in D&D and other TTRPGs, or what they also say, it's pretty much like real time. We decide all at the same time what we're going to do, and then depending on how you guys roll, that can be either he attacks you guys, or you guys deal damage to him, or at the same time. Just to make it easy, since it's a system we're used to, why don't you guys roll a speed check, and we will see our turn order.
Success.
All right. So it looks like Micah rolled an 80, John got a 46, Shane got a 21, and Ivan got a 9.
Yeah, but when I used the button on my character sheet for that, it added a stress to me. Is that as intended?
Oh, when you technically fail a check, it counts. It increases your stress level by 1. In this case, go ahead and manually turn it down, because this isn't really a failure in that strict sense. So John, also go into yours. It probably says you have 3 stress. Go ahead and knock that down to 2.
Okay.
Ivan has been rocking back and forth. He stands straight up, and he is just going to just dive towards Alonzo, since he is the closest one at the moment. So Ivan's going to roll up to Alonzo and swing with his crowbar. The way that
Wait a
this
minute,
works...
he's not next to Alonzo. Do you mean
next
me?
to
Is he
Jadon.
attacking
Oh,
Jadon?
Jadon, you're right. So the way that we do damage in this is that if there is a roll below your armor points or your AP, then it's pretty much ignored. And if it goes over, it's pretty much just straight damage going to your health pool. So Ivan's going to go ahead and swing with his crowbar. And he got a failure. He did not hit on his combat check. He got a 54. Combat check was a 34. So he gains 1 stress, and that's his swing. So he just completely whiffs, swings his crowbar right over Jadon's head. The next person we had was Dr. Lex Paracelsus.
Dr. Lex Paracelsus is going to do the right thing, and he's going to dive over that bed and get out of here. He's running. He knows better than to fight a man with a worm in his ear and a crowbar. I'm way too important to die in this room. So.
All right. Dr. Lex is booking it.
So do I roll?
Nope, you just move. You're back at the galley.
Yeah, that works.
You're next to old Byron, who's like, hey, you're back. That was quick.
Yeah, and as soon as I get in there, I'm start yelling at him. He's crazy. He's got a worm in his ear, and he's swinging a crowbar. Give me a knife.
Oh, man. All right. Old Byron just goes, you're weird. I'm not giving you anything. And just sort of inches away out of the galley and heads over to the navigation room. Just like, everybody's going crazy nowadays. Let's see. Next person in is Alonzo.
So I pull up to this crazy guy with my scalpel out.
Yeah, that was my plan too, Gore. Try to subdue him. I mean, if we can decide to do this at the same time, do you want like one of us hold him and the other one try to rip that thing out of his head?
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I'll try to
Who's got better strength? My strength is 47.
Mine's 40.
All right, so what about if I tried to hold him and you tried to cut the worm out of his head?
I'm just going to stab him for now.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
That's just
All right.
regular.
Yeah. So in roll, you should be able to, or in your character sheet, you should be able to go to your item or your weapon and hit like attack, and that should pop up with a success or a failure.
Oh, a failure.
Oh, missed it. So you're going to take 1 stress because you failed the combat check. And so you go to stab with your scalpel, and Ivan just looks at you and just matrixes out of the way a little bit. So you just barely scrape by his ear where the worm is sticking out. All right, Jadon.
I'm gonna try and get the jump on him and like pull up behind him and see if I can get like a hold on him, like grab him by his arms. If I can get him like pinned for like a turn, I'm just gonna start hollering at Alonzo, hey, cut the worm out of his ear.
All right, go for it. Give me a strength.
Critical success.
Nice.
That's awesome. All
Finally,
right,
something
critical
good
success.
happens.
Perfect. Yep. So you get right behind him, and you climbed onto his back, and you've got your arms around his chest and your legs wrapped around his waist, and you just like completely subdued him in a standing position. So he's just struggling against you as you like tightening your grip down around him.
Yeah, and I'm yelling at Alonzo, like pointing at the side of his head, like get it out.
All right, perfect. Start of the next round, we've got Ivan. So Ivan's currently locked up in Jadon's grasp. So he's going to also do a strength check to see if he can break out of your grip. So roll in here. It's 29 success.
Damn.
So Ivan just yells out, "What are you doing? Get off of me!" and just like stretches his arms out, and you just pop backwards. So you're still behind him, and he's just yelling, and he has, because you grabbed him around, he dropped his crowbar. So he's going to spend the rest of his turn just scrambling to try to find his crowbar. Coming up next, we have Dr. Lex.
So do I hear all this while I'm in the galley?
Yes.
And I don't see anything around other than like weapon-wise, except for knives and stuff. And there's no rope or anything like that, right?
No rope, kitchen towels, the knives. That's pretty much
Okay,
it
what I'm
in the
going to
kitchen.
do then is there a walkway between these doors, or is this just showing? This is just a door?
A door. It's just a big hatch.
Okay,
You can
so
open and
I'm going
close.
to get my duct tape out and stretch out a piece, and I'm going to stand by the door and get ready. And as soon as these guys subdue him, I'm going to run in and just wrap him in duct tape so he can't get loose.
All right. When you do that, Shane, you will have advantage because you prepared the duct tape and you're ready to go.
Cool.
All right. Alonzo, what you got for us?
I'm gonna try to tackle him to the ground.
All right. Let's see. Give me a speed or strength. I'm guessing, yeah, strength is probably better for tackling. So give me a strength roll.
Fantastic.
Big fail.
Oh yeah.
90.
In fact, you went in for the tackle. You jumped towards Ivan, and as you jumped, he just looked at you and just brought his knee up, and you just rammed your face right into his knee, and then you fell to the ground.
Nice.
And you are now prone.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Jadon, what you got?
Jayon pulls out his rigging gun, and there's no real description of what this is, but I'm going to assume it means like a sort of like a much more powerful nail gun, like a big rivet gun. He's going to try and shoot at Ivan's arm in such a way that he sticks his arm to the wall or the floor or something with a rivet.
Nice. Yeah, go for it. Give it a shot.
That's what we want. Holes in the submarine at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, this is only the best and brightest in this trucking union. So is it attack roll first and then damage roll?
Yep. Yeah, when you do attack, it'll say if you hit or not.
Okay, I see.
Oh.
No. Critical fail, 99.
Oh.
Riveted my own hand to the wall.
That's the game.
Oh man.
Yep.
Submarine implode.
Oh shoot. I wasn't thinking about a critical failure on this one. All right.
It's bad.
Oh, also, that was my only ammo for that gun. My reloads are now 0, and the amount of shots I have is 0.
Worth it.
Yeah, so I wasted my one shot to put a hole in the floor and put a hole in the oxygen tank or something.
Having us play a game that is naturally brutal is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Tell you what, you fire the rigging gun and it misses Ivan. The bolt actually goes right next to the hatch and almost pierces Dr. Lex Paracelsus. And as you fired it, the recoil from the gun launched the gun off your hand. It hit the wall and it shattered.
Yeah. Oh, let's just delete that from the character sheet. Remove item.
Oh man. 99 out of 100. It's a perfect awful roll.
Yep. Yeah. Now the weapons section of my character sheet is totally empty. Let's go.
It is now back to Ivan. So, interesting thing that you guys have observed. So, after the rigging gun went off, the worm has actually detached a little bit from Ivan's ear, and it's now just looking around, and it sees Alonzo on the ground, and the worm is uncoiling and uncoiling and uncoiling, and the worm dives and is trying to take a bite out of Alonzo. When this happens, Ivan, you just see him weaken. He just all of a sudden just takes a knee down, and he just all of a sudden is very tired, and it just sickly, and it goes white as a sheet. But let's see this worm, which is sitting right over here now.
How big is this thing?
It after it fully uncoils from Ivan's ear, you can tell it is about 3 feet long. All right, so let's roll. So it's going to do a speed check and see if the worm can attack you, John. And it got a critical failure.
Nice.
So the worm dives towards you, just completely misses. Lands inside one of the beds, inside one of the bunks in the sheets, and is now tangled up in the sheet, and it's writhing in the bunk, trying to get out of the sheets. Dr. Lex Paracelsus.
Dr. Lex Paracelsus is going to burst through the door with the duct tape and start wrapping it around that sheet. He's like pulling up the sheet and wrapping it around this worm and trying to just completely trap this thing in duct tape.
Nice. Give me a speed check.
Just because he feels it's the safest thing he can do and he won't get hurt, which is kind of dumb. Speed, did you say?
Speed.
Come on.
He's trying to wrap
come
this
on,
quickly.
come on. And you said I get a bonus, right?
It should ask you if you
advantage.
have advantage when
Or
you click
advantage.
to roll it.
Okay. Bam.
Nice.
Success. Beautiful. All right, Shane. You wrap this duct tape around. You just grab the sheet, roll up into a giant ball, and you're just wrapping the duct tape around it as this thing is just writhing. But you successfully manage to enclose it inside the duct tape, and you just hear the worm shrieking in this bundle that you're now holding. Ivan, at this time, just collapses onto the ground. What do you guys want to do? Combat's over, unless the worm decides to get out.
Well, we got
So Jadon is standing there with his shovel at the ready because he thought he was going to try and cut the worm in half with the shovel. This thankfully didn't happen, and he kind of taps Ivan on the side with his shovel, like, Ivan, you good?
Ivan lets out a small moan, but otherwise does not move.
Dr. Paracelsus is going to go, quick, run in the galley, get a pot and a lid.
Not a bad
Cook
idea.
us
I
some
gotta
worm.
get the pot and lid.
Anything's better
Yeah.
than porridge.
All right. Yeah, you guys run to the galley,
Yeah.
grab some pots, come back in.
Yeah,
So
grab
I'm
the big old stock pot.
Yeah. I'm going to put this thing down in the stock pot and put the lid on it. And of course, my right foot, like Captain Morgan, because it's probably the bravest thing Lex Paracelsus has ever done in his life.
I use my salvage drone to weld the pot shut.
Nice.
Yeah, let's do it. The salvage drone successfully welds the pot shut. That worm is not getting out. You still hear it shrieking and clanging against the pot, but yeah, it's stuck in there.
Success. I should probably take Ivan to the medical ward.
Yeah, I like roll Ivan over and get him on his back, and I'm like, do any of y'all have the medical training?
I do not. I am a doctor, but not that kind of doctor.
Well, what good are you?
You'll find out if we need to blow something up, buddy.
All of a sudden, you guys have your like arm mounted computers, and it kicks on, and you hear this.
Hey, what are you guys doing? This captain, where is the engineer? Get back to navigation immediately.
I say we drag him to navigation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just pick up his limp body and carry him over there.
And have the doctor carry the pot of worm.
Yeah, I'll carry the pot.
Yeah, you carry your trophy. We'll carry the engineer.
Give me 1 sec. I have to roll a die for things that'll be clear very soon. That works. All right, so you guys are dragging him over to navigation.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead. You guys move your characters over, and I got Ivan just dragging his limp body across the galley. The captain turns and looks at you and goes, "What happened?"
I don't know, Captain. He had some kind of worm in his ear. Caught the worm, by the way. Might eat that later.
Yeah, hold up the pot.
It's juicy worm.
We got to his bunk and he was going crazy, but when the worm came out of his head, he didn't get back up. He just collapsed to the floor.
The captain walks over and kneels down next to Ivan, and takes his pulse, and he goes, "Ivan's dead."
Shit.
R.I.P. old buddy.
So something between where you like nudged him a little bit and dragging him into the actual navigation room, he just collapsed and he's out.
Yeah. Jadon's like, man, he wasn't dead yet when we picked him up.
The captain goes, "Okay, you know what? I don't know what the worm is. I don't care. I'm trying to get away from this bottom of the ocean floor. Since Ivan is dead, I need you three to go into the engine bay, figure out what is going on with the engines, so we can get off of this damn bottom of the ocean floor."
Aren't you driving this ship? Wouldn't you know more about that than us?
Hey, I'm just a driver. I don't know how it moves.
Well, maybe there's something combustible down there.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Combustible.
You see old Byron, who's in the corner just listening, and he's like, "I wonder if I can cook that worm." Yeah, so the captain just instructs you guys to head down to the engine bay. What do you guys want to do?
Should we bring the worm?
Jadon's like, hey, Captain, can I go get some stuff out of the armory first? I lost my gun in the altercation with Ivan.
Sure. I don't care. And he has a lanyard, and he takes the lanyard off, and it has a key attached to it, and he just throws it to you. He goes, "I think you know where to find this and where this thing goes."
I'm going to take the pot and with the worm in it and put it beside the captain and look at him and go, and I'm going to the armory.
All right, let's do it. All right, so let me give you guys a view of the armory. All right. So you guys enter the armory. The armory is the incredibly well reinforced hull of the vessel. You see a bunch of periscopes and apparatus to fire 2 torpedo tubes at the front. Those are the squares on the right hand side that sit in the front of the Rymor. A padlocked locker is on the bottom left corner, very clearly labeled weapons.
Hell yeah.
And on the other corner, on the bottom right, is a hatch that drops down to an emergency escape pod.
I'm going to pull up to the locker and try the key that the captain just gave me.
Yeah, perfect. It unlocks. Inside the locker are 2 handguns, 40 rounds, and 3 grenades.
Ooh, all right, all right.
I'm going to walk down to the
Dagon's
escape.
like, hey, Dr. Lex, come check this out.
Yes,
We
be
got
with
grenades.
you in one
You
moment.
like grenades.
Anything that goes kapoo, hold on for me. And I'm going to walk down to the escape pods and see how big this thing is and how many people could escape. Because I
All
need
right.
to start doing math.
So really quick, let's divvy up the weapons. We've got 2 handguns, 40 rounds of ammo, and 3 grenades. So who wants the handguns? Or Micah, you had the key. Do you want to keep both handguns?
Can I take one gun and all 40 rounds?
Yep.
I need to take the grenades. Am I master of grenades? Master in explosives?
I think you have. It's expert level.
Yeah.
Expert
So
level.
and we are in a submarine, so just throwing a grenade around willy-nilly is a bad idea.
For sure.
So I'll take the grenades.
Can do. Mike, if you click on the session tab in your app, you should see that I am sending you a revolver with 40 rounds of ammunition. You'll have to accept it.
That's what I was. Okay.
Dr. Lex,
Yeah.
you got 3 grenades coming your way.
Frag grenade.
Which
frag.
means-
Oh, these are frag grenades. That's interesting. Okay.
And John, I'm sending a revolver with 0 ammunition.
I tell
3D.
Jadon, you'll give me a bullet, right? When I need it.
I'll hand him, what is this, a 6-shooter? I'll hand him 6 of my 40 rounds.
I can
All right.
6 bullets.
Yeah, I'll send you some ammo.
I was just hoping you'd throw me 1 bullet during combat.
If you get to where you need exactly 1 bullet, it's not for the combatant.
You'll be a legend.
All right. Shane, you said you wanted to go down to the escape pod.
Yeah, I want to see how many can actually escape.
All right. Yeah, head on down.
Whoa.
Also, let me double check on your screen what you see. All right, perfect. All right, so you are down in the escape pod. Is anybody else joining him in the escape pod?
No, I'm not the least bit curious.
Let me guess. This is
All
where
right.
the
I'm
worm's
like
mama
with my
lives.
revolvers, like doing cowboy tricks. Like,
Am I going to frag grenade this escape pod full of worms? I feel like I am.
You look around, Shane, and I'll be honest, the escape pod is pretty tight and pretty cramped, to the surprise of no one. You estimate it can fit maximum 2 people, given the oxygen levels you see on the side panel. Do you want to search the escape pod?
I do.
All right. In the side wall on the left-hand side, you open up
guess who's
a
taking back
hatch.
that ammunition he just gave you?
You find a week's worth of rations, a flashlight, a whistle, and a small pocket guide called Deep Sea Survival for Marines.
Well, the whistle, of course, is the first thing I'll take because nothing is more annoying than a whistle.
Just come back up the hatch with a whistle, ignoring the field guide for Marines.
Yeah, I'm going to leave the food in there and shove the rest of that crap in my pockets.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go. They didn't come down with me, right? Yeah,
Just
so
you?
I'm going to climb back up and I'll be like, oh, yeah, this could easily hold everybody on the sub. So no worries, John.
What a relief. Thanks for checking that out.
God.
All right.
We're all going home tonight.
To the left of the armory, you see a door, and the panel on top of the door says electrical.
Well, hell, we don't even really know where engineering is, do we? Did we check the ship's computer and try to find where it is?
Well, this thing's electric, so it's probably over there.
Yeah, what could go wrong? Let's just go exploring.
Yeah.
We'll go over to electrical.
It must not have been that important if they didn't tell us where to go.
Alrighty.
How big could a submarine possibly be? We'll find it. Ain't like this is life or death. Besides, Dr. Lex just said we got a big ass escape pod. We're going home anyway, boys. No matter what.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. Completely safe.
Here's the fun part with electrical. You can only go in one at a time. That's a very tight, very narrow corridor filled with wires, buttons, and other electronics. Somebody with electrical expertise might be able to do something interesting in the electrical room. And in the corner, you do see a terminal that you could potentially use. Who's going in first?
I've got industrial equipment, but that's probably not this. Do you all have anything related to electrical or computers?
I'm a
not even
chemist.
close.
I have engineering, and that's not it.
Yeah, we're probably just going to squeeze through here not knowing what any of this stuff does. Just being
Pretty nice.
blissfully ignorant. Yeah. Look at all the cool wires.
All right.
You said there's
so
a
you guys are
terminal
going
in there,
through?
though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. You can still try. You just won't
I
roll
want to
with
try
the...
at least. So I guess I'll go in, and because I saw the terminal through the hallway, and I was like, computer. So,
Bleep bloop.
what do I roll for my bleep bloop?
Let's see. Can you roll? There should be a skill called computers. Can you roll that? Oh, I'm sorry. It'll be intellect.
Are you looking for
Intellect.
something specific or just mashing buttons to see what it does?
Well, what I'm trying to do first of all is to see if it'll pull up, if I can pull up like a schematic of the ship that shows me the layout. So, nope. It said
All right.
no.
Yep. Rolled a fail on the computer check, and so the terminal just does not respond as you touch it. You see a couple lights flicker on it, but aside from that, the monitor does not kick on. All right, John, Micah, do you guys want to try anything?
I'm going to climb back out. Be like, nope, doesn't work.
I like computers.
No, Jadon just takes you at your word. He's like, well, you can't figure it out. I can't figure it out.
I want to try to bleep bloop and see if I can open up a map.
Yeah, give it a shot. Roll intellect.
Nope.
Yeah, same
90.
deal. All right, yep, computer does not respond.
Is broken.
Can we get past the computer?
Yep, you can get past the computer on the other side of the door.
So we can go to that
You
door
can
on the
also-
far side of this room if we're like basically going single file.
Exactly. You can also look at the walls, and there may be something of interest in the walls.
All right, Jadon goes in and ignores the computer completely because he knows he's too dumb to work it. But what is this over here on the left side of this room?
That's the computer. The other
one says
side is the
one says
terminal.
computer. Okay. Yeah, Jadon just looks around the walls and ceiling at all the pretty wires and conduits and just looking around to see if anything rings a bell.
You
Search
do
for
find
traps.
something of interest. You find a box of cigarettes, and you find a little metal box, and it says Ivan's lunchbox on it. And you open it up, and you see a half-eaten sandwich.
R.I.P. Ivan, he was a real one.
Yeah, I close up the lunchbox and put it back where I got it and put the cigarettes in my pocket.
Alrighty.
Are they Lucky Strikes or Pall Malls?
Oh man,
I always thought Ivan
Micah,
was a
what kind of
menthol
smokes are
guy.
there?
They're Newports.
Hell yeah.
Newports. There we go.
Because Dr. Lex only smokes cheroot or cloves.
Yeah, so Jadon just makes his way out the other side of electrical.
For some reason, the computer screen lights up and says, on the screen, you can see like green text pop across the side, and it says, Lex Paracelsus is not in the Sudor's file. This incident will be reported.
Does it have a drive?
Jadon don't get that joke, but I do.
Does it have a slot for like a floppy disk or something?
It does. It has
Okay,
those
good.
old...
Good, because I'm going to... Lex is going to be crawling in behind him and see that. And I'm going to open that lunchbox and take the sandwich out and shove it in that slot. You're going to
It's
report
one of
me.
the
You're going to
5
report me.
1/4 floppy slots where you got to lock it in.
I'm doing what all little kids do to VCRs. I'm going to shove the food in it.
Yeah, for some reason, the computer lights up saying it's got 1.4 megabytes
PB&J.
Free space on that sandwich. Oh, yeah. Computer does not respond. What do you guys want to do in the electrical room?
I want to look in the electrical room, see if I can find anything. Search for traps.
All right.
Ivan booby trapped his own work site.
So what you want me to roll?
Can you roll a intellect check?
Yeah, I'll try it again.
Look at the big brain on this guy.
I got a 50-50 chance and I failed both times.
Oh, man.
That's my normal rolling.
So you do gain 1 stress.
Oh, that sucks.
For every stat check that you fail, you gain 1 to your stress level. And what that does is that impacts when your characters panic, then we roll against your stress. And depending on how that goes, you can have some pretty long-term effects.
Yeah, so I'm at
come out of
4
it.
now.
You
Oh,
shouldn't
yeah.
have to add any of
stress.
those on your own, though. Mine has gone up automatically every time I've failed.
Yeah. That's the first time I think I failed, and it's at 4. So, or no, second time actually.
There we are. So I've got Jadon and Dr. Lex Paracelsus still in the electrical corridor.
I'll follow in behind them because I don't like being alone.
Yeah,
So-
Jadon's not even trying to do anything else in here. He's just making his way to the far end of the hallway to try to squeeze out the door.
Oh, all right. You going into the next room?
Yeah.
All right. You find yourselves in the engine bay.
I fucking told you.
Or you guys are all 3 in there. As soon as you walk into the room, so this is a huge room filled with twisting steel pipes, brass organs, and this is essentially the heart of the entire ship. You see the engines are grunting and just spluttering as they work against the weight of the water that has currently filled up in the ballast tank of the submarine. There's a lot of smoke and smog that fills the air. So all 3 of you guys give me a body save.
God, we're in the outer space version of Das Boot.
Oh, this will go well.
Failure.
Critical failure. I rolled 1 over.
So close.
All 3. Ooh. All right. So for Alonzo and Jadon, you guys will each roll. Can you guys roll me a d6? Shane, you will have to take, since it's a critical failure, the full 6. So add 6 to your stress, please, because you've now inhaled all the smoke and the smog of the room.
So I'm at 11 stress.
As you guys enter the room,
This is the weirdest dice interface.
there is one of the worms, and it has chewed its way through one of the pipes, and the floor is covered in a slippery oil. So if you guys do end up falling or going prone in this room, let's say the worm is going to try to take advantage due to the oil.
What did you say we do with that D6 check? I got a 2.
Add 2 to your stress.
Okay.
The worm has been chewing up the pipes in the engine bay, sees you guys come in, and then turns and now rushes towards you. We're going to jump back into combat. So we're going to have our first round of combat. We're going to try this in a different tactic in that all 3 of you guys are going to tell me what you're going to do, and then from there, the worm will then react in a
I'm
particular
trying the
way.
shovel technique again. I get out my shovel and I'm trying to like cut it in half like it's a rattlesnake.
All right. So Jadon's got his shovel out. Alonzo, what you got for us?
Is there like cooling pipes or like knobs and shit in the ceiling?
Yep.
I want to try to turn a knob to like make steam to like shoot on the worm.
Okay. All right. Dr. Lex.
Don't you have engineering expertise? Like there's an actual chance you would know something about what knob to turn here, right?
Yeah.
So I take it 11 stress is a lot, right?
Yep.
Like what's the maximum? 20?
Not for
20.
Dr. Lex. He's cool as a cucumber.
Okay. I don't
Can
want
he
to do
smoke
that
one for
frag
cigarettes to
grenade.
bring his stress level down?
It's like Metal Gear where
Yep.
you.
I was going to
Hey,
say
yeah,
it's
let's
Metal
smoke
Gear where that works, right?
Yeah.
Is this thing close to us?
No, not yet.
Okay. And that's a jump drive?
No, just the engine. It just moves the
Okay.
propeller and also
Okay.
fills and empties the ballast tank. So it makes the
'Cause when
submarine go up and down.
Yeah, when I put the mouse over it, it said jump drive, and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, that's the That's the icon.
Going to hyperspace.
So the two things where there's an icon are these big machines that like are in the center of the room, and this thing is on the side of one of them.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm gonna run around towards the back to try to get out of its view, and I'm gonna take my scalpel out just in case I need it.
Stay ready.
All right.
Gotta get ready.
Let's go ahead and let's see, Micah. You were going to
I'm gonna try to attack it with my shovel.
go for it. Let's do that first. So you'll go ahead and
The
swim with
shovel
your
is an
shovel.
equipment, not a weapon. So is that just like a combat check or strength check or what?
Yeah, give me a combat.
Fail.
All right, you swing the shovel and it just clangs against the engine. Let's see, John. What were you trying to do?
Manipulate the knobs and pipes on the ceiling to like pin it with steam.
Nice. Okay, so you look around and you see promising knobs just off to your other side. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and roll intellect, but I want you to add your mechanical repair or add your engineering onto your roll.
That'd be a great band name, Promising Knobs.
You gotta be shitting me.
Oh no! What'd you roll?
An 80.
Nice.
76% chance for success. Oh man. All right. So you know what? You do grab the knob and you turn it, but steam like across the room all of a sudden just blows out from one of the nozzles and is just ineffective. The worm is going to go ahead and lunge towards Alonzo, and the worm is going to roll.
Is this one
combat.
3 feet long too, or is this its mama?
This one's larger. This one's 4 feet.
Oh,
It's eaten before.
It's going to roll combat, and it got a critical failure.
Man, that's the only thing saving us is that our opponents are just clumsier dimwits than we are.
It's gonna scurry towards you guys, but it also didn't calculate the slippery oil that's on the floor, and it's gonna skid right past you guys and just hit itself right into the wall. And it's going to take 2 damage, and it will die.
We really are going to Mr. Magoo our way into surviving this somehow.
Did y'all kill that thing? I didn't kill that thing.
I killed it with my mind.
You're just like in the corner.
So yeah, the worm is in the corner, just flopped over and dead, and you guys are now in the engine bay.
Hell yeah, brother. There's some good knobs in here. You want to get this thing turned on?
Hey, man, I don't know anything about none of these knobs. You just tell me what to fix and I'll work on it.
Yeah, so you said there was something with water in here, right?
Yep. So the engine, what the engine is trying to do, it's got 2 functions. One is turning the propeller so the submarine moves forward, but it's also in charge of emptying and filling the ballast tank. The ballast tank is the thing that actually fills up with air to let the submarine rise. Yeah.
Right.
So you can see the engine is trying, but where the ballast tank is supposed to be is just filling up. It's pretty much full of water, and it just doesn't have enough juice to pump air into that tank.
So I want to look at that tank and look around the walls to see if there's anything that indicates how to empty it.
You can. There is a hatch on the bottom of the engine room that can take you into the ballast tank, but it is a completely separate area. It is a huge portion of the ship.
Into the ballast tank? I don't want to go into the ballast tank. I want to press a button that empties the ballast tank, but you're saying I need to go down in there to do it?
Mm-hmm. You can't tell from the engine bay what's going on.
Yeah. I will say, gentlemen, someone needs to go down into the ballast tank. There's too much water. If we get rid of the water, we'll float upwards. This is science.
Yeah, you were the one that found a cool flashlight. Get down there, buddy.
I have to stand here and look at this and make sure that it's emptying as you do whatever you do. And I'll be happy to lend you my flashlight. I would note as well, since I'm a chemist, that this is oil that we're standing in and it is highly flammable. So do not light your Pall Mall or Lucky Strike, or we all die.
Wait a minute. This salvage drone says it's got a video receiver on it. We can just send that down there to look at stuff.
And Lex is like, well, only holds 2. I can deal with that later.
Gotta get rid of one somehow. Yeah, Jadon.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Jadon unfolds this salvage drone again and gets out the little controller and sends the drone down into the ballast tank. Just look around and check the video feed.
All right. Let me open up the ballast tank area.
There is a 5-foot worm.
So what you guys see out of the screen with the drone is pitch black. The drone goes down into the ballast tank. You see it all of a sudden you feel resistance in the controls, Jadon, as you're trying to control it into the tank itself. And you suddenly realize that the reasoning why the controls are so tough on the drone is because you put the drone underwater, like it is now submerged fully, and the screen shows nothing, it's pitch black, and all of a sudden the drone, you just lose signal, and the drone slowly sinks to the bottom of the ballast tank.
Damn. God, Jam is such a bastard.
Why don't we check the engine?
Yeah, just
We
going to
should have
remove that
duct
from the
taped
old
my
inventory.
flashlight to the drone.
Well, boys, I didn't see shit down there.
Is there a switch in here that says light?
There is not, but there is a door on the top right of the engine bay, and it says research lab on it. But aside from that, there's nothing else in the room really of note.
I want to go up to that door and listen to it before I open it. Do I hear anything
Look at
inside?
the big brain on this guy. You can tell he's a science man.
You don't have to go up there and listen, Shane, because the hatch to the research lab is usually locked, but for some reason it has been left open.
Well, I'm
But
gonna
you
pop...
do hear clanging as you approach the research lab.
Okay, I want to pop my flashlight and aim it into the research lab. I'm not going in there yet. I want to look around from the outside.
Yeah.
Are you just like
As
looking
you
through the
pass-
crack in the door without moving the door?
Yeah, I ain't touching that door yet. I'm actually getting ready to shut it if need be.
What you see, so you pass your flashlight over the
Jadon
room.
stops crying about his drone and he's standing right behind you with his gun cocked.
The flashlight goes over the room. It looks empty. What you see is that it's actually the room itself is pretty clean compared to the rest of the submarine. The walls are covered in a bunch of charts showing like deep sea wildlife, a bunch of biology and chemistry stuff. In the corner, you see a podium or a pedestal and there's nothing sitting on top of it. In the center of the room is just a gigantic table or like a bench, and it has a series of papers and notes that are just strewn across the table. And aside from that's all we got.
Okay, I'm
in the
going
room
to
so
turn
far.
around and say, I think it's safe, gentlemen, and we haven't had one yet, so let's go in here and have a meeting.
Oh, thank God. You've never steered us wrong, Dr. Lex. And Jadon follows him right in.
So I want to go in and start examining these chemistry-based charts you were talking about, because I'm very good at that. This is
I gotta make another quick roll here on the side. That one's already taken. How about that one? Yep, I can do that one. No reason. I did not giggle for any particular reason. I'm so sorry. All right. You guys enter. Are you guys walking into the research bay or research lab?
Yeah, I said I wanted to examine the stuff that you said was chemistry-related, charts and paperwork and all that crap.
Yeah, I've still
Gotcha.
got my gun drawn, but
Yeah.
I trust Dr. Lex completely.
All right. John, how about Alonzo? Is he going in the room with everybody?
No, I'm gonna stand at the door on
right.
the engine room side of the door.
Oh, all the way around. There we go. So you guys walk into the research lab. What you guys were not able to see from the door frame or doorway is in one of the corners there's a closet. And in that closet you see two hazard suits, which are essentially what you would imagine like a hazard suit to be, giant plastic with a big old face shield. So there's two hazard suits in the closet in the corner, and also as you round the table that has all the papers and notes on it, right in front of the podium, where it looks like something's missing, on the ground right in front of the podium is a large glass container that was shattered, and there's just liquid all over the floor in front of that glass container.
Well, boys found where the worms came from.
Yeah. What do you guys want to do in the research lab?
I'm going to stroll over and strap on one of those hazmat suits. And then I want to examine the goop that's coming out of that broken glass cage.
All right. Jadon, how about you?
I want to look through all of the paperwork that's like laying on these tables and stuff and see if I can make heads or tails of any of it.
Okay. Shane, on your character sheet for Dr. Lex Paracelsus, you can add armor. One of those things for armor is a hazard suit. Go ahead and equip that onto your character. The hazard suit gives you 5 armor points, which is your current crew attire only gives you 1. So it adds an extra 5 onto that, which is real good. Also gives you a air filter, extreme heat and cold protection, short range comms, a headlamp, and radiation shielding.
Yeah, you all got to read the descriptions of the stuff you have on you, because I just checked this vac suit as you were saying that, and I've got way more stuff than I thought I did. I've got a headlamp and everything.
My duct tape is just duct tape.
I'm just wearing
It's not
civilian
magical
clothes.
worm capture and duct tape.
All right, Micah, you're searching over all the notes, seeing if anything just comes to you, right? Like an epiphany moment kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You're scrounging through the notes in the middle, and you see a bunch of drawings of what looks like the worm that you guys just saw commit suicide in the engine bay. Giant diagram of that, and at the top it says Uloch, ULOCH, at the top of the diagram. And it also tells you all sorts of fun things about the Uloch, and it says that Ulochs are long, thin creatures with slug-like skin and thin fins. They reproduce by creating hives in the bodies of larger creatures.
Son of a bitch.
Uh-oh, Ivan.
We left Ivan's corpse with the captain.
The worms could be driving this ship.
Uh-huh.
So what do I discover?
You can discover that you read deeper into the notes, and you can read that. You know what? Can you give me an intellect check, Shane?
Yeah.
And you can add.
Is this a chemistry related thing? Because
yeah, let's do chemistry.
See if you can use your super special botany skills to figure out how to kill one. Is there a way to kill them other than blunt force trauma?
9.
Nice hit.
You can discern through the notes that Ulochs crawl into exposed orifices on their victims and cause mania, and makes the victims think that they are constantly drowning.
Anything crawling in my orifice would do that too. So, yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to pass this information on. Plug your orifices. It's very critical.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Your
tell
orify.
Alonzo. I'm gonna tell Alonzo that he might want to get in here and put this other hazmat suit on, because my orifices are good. I don't leave home without my vac suit on. I sleep in it. Can't relax unless I think I'm in the void of space.
Shane, you also see one note set aside from the rest on the bench, and it says it's a journal entry, and the journal entry is dated today, and it says 7/3/2546. Specimen appears to have breached its container. Cannot risk telling security team for potential risk of neutralization. Will attempt to manually recover subject. That's the end of the note.
I didn't work
And
it.
is there anything indicating who wrote that?
It is signed by the head scientist, which is Dr. Alder Kapotsky.
Okay, and you said our computers
We
came
still
on,
haven't
right?
seen him, right? We've just seen his bunk.
Yeah, you said our computers and stuff came on, right?
Yep.
Well, I'm going to pop on my audio and be like, Dr. Kapotsky, or whatever his name was.
There is no response. No response.
I got him through his orifice.
Indeed.
They had to protect his holes.
I'm going to put on that other hazmat suit.
Alrighty. John, go ahead and go into your character sheet and add the hazmat suit. So the nice thing now with y'all having that hazmat suit on is if anything deals damage less than 5, it just does. It's as if it missed. It just deals nothing to you, which is great. Micah, your vac suit, what does that give you?
It only has an armor of 3. It's well, I'll just read the description. So armor of 3, 12 hours worth of oxygen inside. If I was to need to turn on the oxygen, includes short range comms, headlamp, and radiation shielding. If it's punctured, decompresses in 1d5 rounds.
Okay, nice. All right then.
Do the hazmat suits have an oxygen supply?
Yes.
They have an air filter.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Air filter, not oxygen supply.
Okay, so you probably get the radiation protection, but no pressurization time.
Yep.
What'd you say?
You got a space suit.
So the only thing we saw in the closet was the hazmat suits.
Yep, that's it.
We didn't go rifling through it though, right? Can I check the closet and see if there's anything else in there?
Yeah. You rifle through the closet, but you don't see anything else. Minor trinkets here and there, but nothing really of use.
Oh yeah. Also on the character sheet, found out what my trinket was, and it's a pith helmet, which I think is one of those like safari caps. That's going to look good on top of my spacesuit helmet.
Yeah, you're
That's
wearing
great.
a pith helmet, and I'm carrying around my blankie.
And I have my Chibi Cthulhu like clipped onto my hazmat helmet.
You should have it on your shoulder like a parrot, since we're in a submarine.
John, does Alonzo have 11 stress at the moment?
He does.
Oh, well, shit. All right. Alonzo, all of a sudden, I need you to give me a panic check. So what a panic check is that you're going to roll me a d20 die, and I'll explain why in just a second. Roll a d20 die. You want to get over an 11. If you get under or at an 11, bad things happen.
Shane has 11 too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now we know who's not getting on the escape pod. Made that decision easy.
I rolled a 2.
You rolled a 2. All right. Well, that's okay. So you just are just very nervous, and just add 1 more to your stress.
Hell yeah.
The reason for the panic check is because as you put on your hazard suit and start moving around in the breast pocket of the hazard suit, you feel something uncoiling, and it is one of the uloks, and it is now attached onto your neck. Oh. So, what do you guys want to do as this worm? It's a small one, but it is now outside of the outside of the hazard suit, but it is right on John or Alonzo.
Yeah, I'm going to tell Jade on him and be like, he wouldn't want to live this way. That's a plugger.
So it's like it's tried to get through my suit at the moment.
Yep, it's trying to bite its way through your hazard suit.
Hell yeah.
Can I look around the room and see if I can find something sharp? I mean, I don't have anything on me as far as like a knife or a scalpel or anything.
As you look around on the floor, because the holding case had fallen off of the podium, you see a bunch of glass shards on the ground.
Yeah, I'll take one of the glass shards and try to like rip this thing off the side of his suit and stab through it, like cut it in half.
All right. Go ahead and give me a combat roll to see if you successfully stab. Perfect.
I hit.
All right. So you hit. So go ahead and roll me a d5, and that'll be the amount of damage you do. 4 damage on the ulok, and you slice it right in half.
Got his ass. First time killing one of these under our own power.
The ulok was about to bite into Alonzo's hazard suit, but you slice it right in half, and both halves just fall off on either side of Alonzo and land on the ground. Yeah,
Man,
the
I was
ulok
just
is
waiting
dead.
to crit fail that and put a hole in both suits.
That is exactly what I was planning in case you did a critical fail. Yeah, that ulok is dead.
I'm going to check for uloks.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all want to do the like chimpanzee, like pat each other down and make sure there's no more of these things crawling around the hazmat suits.
Quick, we must check each other's orifices.
Fantastic idea.
All right. Are you guys patting each other down?
Yes.
All right. You guys pat each other down. There are no remnants of any Ulaks on y'all's persons.
Now, did I need to make a roll because I have 11 stress, as John pointed out? No? Okay, good.
Sean just got unlucky and happened to have the hazmat suit with the Ulak in it.
Fantastic.
Okay, are there any other exits to this room other than the one we came in? No?
Nope, just the door to the engine bay.
Yeah, so we got to get the water situation handled, but not going to do it in here. And it's probably pointless trying to find that doctor. He's umlaut feed at this point. But
I'm thinking our next best bet is to go back to this engine room and see if we can figure out what went wrong with that ballast pump and get water pumping back out of the actual interior.
Do a fixing things up montage.
Yeah, yeah.
to the A-Team song.
Exactly.
Dun, 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 dun.
Mr. T comes out with an M60.
Yeah. So,
This is the A-Team montage, but Dr. Lex with his duct tape.
yeah, I'm face.
Go
We need
stick
a-
with some engine parts.
Yeah. We need a hang glider.
All right.
Anyone who doesn't know, the A-Team is a show from the 80s. Go watch it.
Yeah, I loved it back when I was 40. It's great.
Yeah. Also a 2010 movie, 2011 movie, which is not as good as the show, but sort of rules in its own way.
Agreed.
But without Dwight Schultz, there is no A-Team, so you got to watch the original.
It's true.
Sorry.
Is that the guy from The Office?
It's Murdoch.
Yes, it's the guy from the office. Dwigged.
Alrighty, you guys are back in the engine bay. What do you guys want to do?
So Jadon is just looking around at all the switches and valves and knobs and shit and trying to figure out like what part of this is actually broken. Like if there's any kind of like, what do you call them? Like gauges mounted all over the walls. Like where did we lose pressure? Because he's going to use his industrial equipment and or mechanical repair expertise to try and figure this out.
Yeah. Against the wall, there's a big panel that shows a bunch of the telemetry data for the engine bay and the ballast tank. And what it is showing is that there is no pressure at all built up inside the ballast tank.
Okay.
There's a hole in the ballast tank.
Right. Which we're probably not going to like
Duct tape.
Duct tape is the answer.
Yeah, if there's a hole in the ballast, we're not going to fix that by getting the engines running again, you know? But man, it's dark down there, and I'm the only one with a suit that's pressurized. I'm going to have
And
to
you
get
got a
out there and try to
headlamp.
fix the ballast tank, ain't I?
Yeah, you got a headlamp too, so
Yeah.
you can see in that darkness.
Damn it.
Well, we could try. We could see if we could try it before you go down there.
Yeah.
Try to turn the knobs and see if we can get the ballast pump going.
Yeah, can we try to turn some knobs in here and divert engine power in such a way that we get the ballast pumps to come on?
Yeah. Go give it a whirl. Who wants to give it a shot? Actually, all of you guys can give it a shot.
What do we roll?
I'll go first. I got some, well, I guess industrial equipment would be appropriate for that.
Yeah, let's do industrial equipment. So go ahead and add that to intellect.
Yeah, I'm going to need all the help I can get on intellect.
Nice.
I hit.
All right, success. You find the knobs that are labeled to check to see if there's pressure in the ballast tank and to like direct power into that area with the generator that's inside the ballast tank. You go ahead and turn it. You do see the power increase, and you do see the engines suddenly start sputtering even more. But that pressure gauge does not go up.
Yeah, Gore, you're right. There's a hole in it.
Dang. Well, I guess the guy with the atmospheric suit's going to have to go down there.
Well, gang, it was nice knowing you.
Here, take some duct tape.
Thanks, man. If anything bad happens to me, I hope you all really enjoy all the extra space in that escape pod.
Take my ornamental switchblade to cut the duct tape with.
All right, so I close up my helmet and lock in the vacuum suit and turn on the headlamps and make my way down into here.
You open the hatch again to go into the ballast tank, and there is no pressure change, which seems to indicate that you don't necessarily need a vac suit to be down there.
But I would need to go into water, right?
True. As you enter
what I'm
into
thinking
the...
is I'm going to have to be in this water, like looking for the hole, since I couldn't see anything with the drone.
Yep. Dr. Lex and Alonzo, you guys can probably also enter the ballast tank safely if you so wish.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a very good idea.
I'm just going to chair read.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate all your help and
We'll
support.
go more to the left. You've already been over there. Look to the right.
Yeah, you all actually should do that. Check if you have any kind of readouts up there that could tell me like what direction this hole might be in that I'm looking for.
You guys do have short-range communication through your suits. You can definitely talk to each other.
You're
Because
doing
I'll just wander around
great.
here in the dark.
Keep up the good work.
For one night, thank you. I appreciate the encouragement.
Jadon, let me give you a little bit of background on this ballast tank. So as you guys already know, it's pitch black in there. It's only accessible via a rusty, slippery maintenance ladder. The tank is pretty much filled to the brim with seawater, and there are a variety of puncture holes in the walls. This is also, Jadon, where the clanging from the outside of the ship is the loudest. In the center of the tank, floating, is the corpse of Dr. Kapowski. What you see as you pass your headlamp over his corpse is that it looks like from his torso there are just giant peaks and valleys of just pulsing skin on these like gigantic blisters on his body. It doesn't seem like he's beyond dead. You see that his eyes have just rolled to the back of the head. He's just floating there in the ballast tank. But something is very much alive inside his corpse.
He's an incubator.
Yeah. And you said I can see like a whole bunch of different like holes and tears and stuff in the wall.
Yep. There's a at the top of the ballast tank. There's a very small air supply, so there is some oxygen, some air inside the ballast tank already. But there are a bunch of tiny pinprick holes throughout the ballast tank that you may need to seal in order to maintain pressure.
Yeah. So this repair job is not like one thing; it's a bunch of little holes. And I got to be in here doing it with the thing that's just going to start spewing worms.
That doesn't sound like a winning situation.
You know that stuff Fix-A-Flat? That sealant or the stuff you put in your radiator? You know, the liquid metal?
Yeah, that's what I need.
If we could find some kind of compound like that on the submarine and put it in that tank, it might seal up those holes.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, actually. Jadon is going to, now that he's assessed the situation, Jadon is going to bravely run away and come back up here and tell you all that, unfortunately, this job is bigger than a duct tape job. We're going to need some more material. And I'll tell everybody else what I saw down there and the guy being, an incubator for these worm things and all that.
All right, so you guys are back in the engine room. Micah, Jadon has relayed that Dr. Kapowski's corpse is in the ballast tank and that there's weird stuff going on in his corpse. And there's a bunch of holes on the outside of the ballast, right?
Yes, and I have explained to the group that my plan is we need to look around this submarine trying to find a real repair kit because that's not a duct tape job down there.
What do you guys want to do? You do see on the panel for the engine bay next to the pressure gauges, there is a couple of wires that you see that are frayed. I don't know. Maybe you guys can do something with those wires. But aside from that, the engine bay is pretty gross and dirty, covered in that oil still. And there's still that corpse, that ulok in the corner. But there may be something you guys can do in the engine bay to make the overall submarine a little bit more stable.
Should we splice some
Sounds like
wires back
Gore's job,
together?
Mr. Engineer. Yeah, go over there and monkey with them exposed cables. See if you can make anything good happen.
So we can figure out how to put them back together.
Yeah.
We can tie one end of an oolong to one cable and the other end to the other cable. Because oolongs conduct electricity.
That's really smart. See, that's science brain right there. We wouldn't have known that.
I read it in that report.
Ah, see, this guy can read.
Alrighty, John. What do you want to do with the wires and all the panels?
Just take them and hold them together and see what happens. See if they spark when you hold them together, or if it looks like if you put
He's
them
gonna
together.
make a spark in a room filled with oxygen and
I
kill us
mean-
all.
John's like, what do you think I'm going to do with it? Put them in my mouth?
And I'm gonna get Dr. Lex to stand there with his duct tape and hand me pieces of duct tape, and I'm gonna duct tape them back together.
Don't
You
you
guys
have
had
some
no-
kind of skill relevant to this? Don't I thought you had
I have mechanical repair or engineering or jerry rigging.
jury rigging. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
You guys had no idea how handy Dr. Lex would come in.
I want to try to jury rig the electrical system back together.
Let's do it.
I
Let's
like
do
how
it.
me
Give
and Gore
give me an
have like
electric.
we have like a Venn diagram of skill sets, and then you go over to Dr. Lex, explosives, chemistry, botany.
Success.
All right, beautiful. You go ahead and wrap the duct tape around all the electrical cables you see that are frayed and disjointed, and it seems like the power is pretty consistent and stable across the ship. So the lights are now on and stay on. There's no longer any flickering going on, and all of y'all's pocket computers and wrist-mounted computers are now on and stable the whole time. You get a very clear signal. You now have the full view of the map of the ship, which ironically you guys had already fully explored before turning it on.
Well, now that we have that, can we just radio the captain and be like, "Hey, where can we go? Where can we go look for some serious ass repair materials?"
Yes, you can.
Should we warn the captain about Ivan's body?
Oh yeah, that's a good call. We should tell him that. We should tell him he
he's
needs
still
to airlock
alive.
that son of a bitch. I guess there's no airlock in a submarine, but you know what I mean.
I've got a quick question about that escape pod. So when I was looking at this thing, is this the kind of escape pod that I'm imagining that's like a mini sub that can drive around and come back and reattach if necessary? Or is this like a, just it ejects and immediately shoots up to the top and you're done?
Ejects, shoots up to the top, beacon goes out with a distress signal, and there's only enough oxygen in there for a very limited amount of time. So not really like a driving around, has its own engine kind of a thing.
Okay. Yeah, I say we go back to the navigation room, talk to the captain, tell him what we found, see if he
Did
knows
the
where
captain
we
answer on the radio?
Oh yeah. What do you guys say to the captain?
Well, Gore for sure tells him about Ivan, and maybe he should do something with that body.
Yeah.
But
Tell him
I
that-
want to ask him where on this ship we could find a repair kit.
Oh, okay. So you relay to the captain.
Well, I won't even say repair kit. It doesn't matter to me. But I'm going to tell him what the situation is with the ballast, and like tell him we got a whole bunch of holes we need to patch up, and like where can we find the material to do it.
Gotcha. Okay. He lets you know that in the armory, in one of the chests, there should be enough material in there to patch up any holes in the ship itself, and he will take heed on Ivan's corpse and he will move it into a safe location.
Now, is he able to drive the submarine at this point or not?
He can move it along the floor of the ocean, but it can't go up and down.
Okay,
So
now
we can-
I want
we
to
can
say this.
maneuver.
I want to say this too, and then I'm going to say, I believe that something from the outside of the submarine on the floor of the ocean has caused the punctures, and you need to be scanning for something round and odd looking on the floor of the ocean
Okay.
because I want that eyeball.
Yeah. All right. Captain says, "Okay, I'll go ahead and turn the sonar and all the scanners on, and we'll look at the ocean floor and anything that's coming out."
Over.
Yes.
Over what, Shade?
Jadon's just going to march his happy ass back through electrical, crawl through all the wires again, and go to the armory.
As he crossed over electrical,
Those
and
aren't
since
wires.
I need you to throw me a fear save,
Right.
Jodan. What has happened while you guys were in the engines and in the ballast is that the water has slowly started to creep up and is now on the bottom, like covering a little bit of the floor of the electrical corridor. And so you guys are crawling through, essentially this is like a tiny crawl space where all these wires are coming through, and the water is coming up, and it's making Jadon just feel claustrophobic. All right, so we have a fear. Wait, you lost on the fear save?
Yeah. Lost on the
Okay.
fear save, and my stress went up for that.
Oh shoot, what is your stress right now?
8.
8. Okay, that's not horrible. Can you roll me a d20, please? If you get
Got a 9.
success, perfect.
I don't
All
know. Well, I guess all
yeah.
single digits are successes, right?
You rolled over. You rolled over, which is good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so the fear, you managed to control your fear, and it settles down. If you had lost the fear save, you would have then gone into a panic state, and that would have
gotcha.
been rough.
And what
All
saved
right.
you was Dr. Lex leaned down and he's like, Jadon, don't let that little bit of water bother you. Just remember, you're at the bottom of the ocean, surrounded by water. That's the real threat.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Dr. Lex. I'm going to go look for the repair kit back in the armory now.
He minored in psychology.
Appreciate the kind words. That's really helpful. You always know just what to say, Dr. Lex.
It's a gift.
Mike, I can't tell you. So far, you're okay. You can cross through electrical and get into the armory. I can tell you the clanging is very loud inside that electrical crawl space.
Damn it. I'm probably not going to make another trip through that crawl space, but I'm gonna look around in here for the repair kits anyway, in the whatever chests or lockers or whatever the captain said.
You search through. You find the chest, and so you open up the chest, and inside the chest is essentially the
JB Weld.
JB
Fix it
Weld
flat.
Loctite, whatever you want to call it. Big old tube of caulk.
Yeah, call gun.
They're essentially like large stickers you can put against the hole, so you at least can maintain pressure even for a temporary amount of time.
All right, I'm going to take the outer space JB Weld and try to make my way back to the engine room.
The door to the locker that had, or the closet that had weapons over the top of it, you opened earlier, that had the 2 handguns in it, is the door is now closed again.
Shit. Of course, we took all the weapons out, so no, I'm going to leave that laying right on the floor. I ain't going over there to investigate. No, I'm going back to the engine room. Jadon is not a curious man.
You're making your way back to electrical, back in the engine bay.
Yep, remembering the calming words of Dr. Lex about all the water, and coolly and in a relaxed way proceeding through the little electrical corridor.
Give me one more fear save.
Let's go. Oh,
Focus on Dr.
that's a terrible one.
Paracelsus.
98.
Right, so you're attempting to maintain a level head, and it just gets to you, and you go into a panic. So we're going to have to go through a panic check. So go ahead and roll a d20 for me. You want to roll over a 9.
8.
All right, you rolled an 8, which means you have a permanent condition attached to your character. And that permanent condition is a loss of confidence in yourself.
Oh no, Jadon's nothing if he don't believe in himself. Damn.
Now no one believes in you, Jadon. And if that didn't help.
Jadon, go ahead and roll a d4 for me. What this is going to do is, depending on the number that you roll, the bonus you get for one of your skills will no longer be applicable for the remainder of this game. In that
I got
you'll lose your plus 10 on industrial equipment, 0G mechanical repair, or jury rigging.
I got 3.
All right, you'll lose your plus 15 to mechanical repair for the duration of this scenario.
All right. Should I just click remove skill on the character sheet,
yes.
or does it matter? Okay.
This is a one shot. Might as well.
R.I.P. I'm suddenly a moron when it comes to mechanical skill. You're going to have to carry us, Gore.
The imposter syndrome is strong on Jadon right now.
I like how happy that made AJ. Yes. Delete it.
I know. He was a little too eager with that one, wasn't he?
Do it now.
Oh, you can't even fathom how hard you ain't gonna need that.
Oh man! All right, you made it through electrical. Aside from that, completely unfazed, except for the loss of confidence in yourself. We're good. Everything's golden. All right. What do you want to do now that you're back in the engine bay?
I mean, unless anybody else in here has bright ideas, I'm going back down to the tank and I'm going to start trying to stick the space JB weld on all the little holes. I'm just crossing my fingers and going for it.
I'll go
I'm
help
gonna
you.
yell down. I'm gonna yell down. Just remember, confidence is everything.
Yeah. Me and Alonzo go down there. Dr. Lex is standing at the top of the hatch like, oh, well, surely they will both come back.
I think I could drive an escape pod by myself. There was pork and beans in there.
John,
Yeah.
you and Micah head back down to the ballast
We're
tank.
gonna suit up and go down there. I'm gonna hand you half the little patches, and I'll take half of them, and off we go.
So you guys can adequately plan. There are 4 holes alongside the outer rim of the ballast tank. I would like for you guys to roll. You guys will roll with advantage because you have the right materials for it. But you'll roll with advantage with your. Let's go with speed because
Seems appropriate.
Dr. Kapotsky is pulsing in weird ways, and as you guys approach Dr. Kapotsky, the pulsing is getting stronger.
All
So
right.
roll with speed with advantage, and we'll and whatever happens, happens.
Let's go.
Ooh, nice.
Success.
All right. So you guys made it to the first set of holes, and you've gone ahead and appropriately sealed them. It looks like the pressure. It looks like they're sealing well.
It's
So
working.
that's 2 out of 4. We just got to do this one more time.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
yelling down
You
the
guys
hole. It's working. Do that more.
Okay.
Dr. Lex sees the pressure is slowly increasing, but it's remaining stable, but still on the relatively low side on the gauge.
All right. Here we go. Here's the second one.
Oh.
I hit.
Yes.
I hit.
Nice.
Oh. Thank
All right.
goodness.
You guys seal up the last remaining holes on the outside of the ballast tank. Looks like it's holding. Dr. Lex, you see the pressure is at a nominal stage now on that gauge.
Almost there.
Dr. Lex, that's
Alonzo-
all the holes. There's no more holes down here.
Slowly closing that door.
There's
You're
just
doing
our own-
great.
There's just our own holes that all the worms are going to try to crawl into, Dr. Lex.
I gotta close this hatch for just a moment. You're doing great.
All of a sudden, Dr. Lex, you hear this over the
Radio. Dr. Lex, we see a round object on our radar and sonar gauges. It is about 50 meters to the port side.
Do you have any apparatus that can retrieve it?
Yes, we do, but we do not have the personnel. We will need somebody to come to the navigation immediately. If not, we're going to pass by the round object.
I will be there momentarily. And I'm going to yell down the hole. The captain has an urgent request to see something. I'll be right back.
So we think the holes are patched, and we're going to try to leave this ballast tank. At least I am. I'm going to try to crawl up out of there. And I assume if we make it up, we just find an empty engine bay.
I yelled that down the hole. You should have been able to hear me going.
So, Shane, you're going to make your way back to navigation. John, Micah, you guys are making your way out of the ballast tank. You guys can't tell the water level in the ballast tank is starting to recede, and quickly. And so it's starting to drain through the ballast tank. You do hear the captain over the radio start saying, okay, I'm regaining control on the navigation terminal. What did you guys do? Before you guys respond, can you guys each give me a speed check to see if you guys can escape the ballast tank unfazed?
Yes.
Did we both hit that again?
Dang.
Man,
All right.
the early game was awful, but we got the dice rolls where it counts.
Let me do a quick roll on my side. As you guys make your way to the ladder coming out of the ballast tank, the water level recedes so much, and then Dr. Kapotsky's body slowly sinks, and then as soon as it touches the floor of the ballast tank, you just see Dr. Kapotsky's head turn, and his entire body explodes in just a bunch of gore and organs and nastiness, and about 5 Ulok worms just shoot out across the edges of the ballast tank. But that happens right as you guys are closing the hatch that leads into that tank, and you
I
guys
was going
seal
to
it
say,
shut.
if we got up that ladder, can we screw down that hatch tight?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You use your remaining JB weld.
Whatever the magical substance is we use to patch that thing up, we use that on the hatch.
The clanging is going nuts inside that ballast tank, but for right now, you guys feel safe. All right. Shane, you are back in navigation, and the captain says that we are getting closer towards that round object. The only way to potentially retrieve it is if you take the escape pod, they can shoot you in the direction of that round object, and you can potentially, from the escape pod, grab the artifact and then make your way up to the surface.
I hate to leave everyone, but you don't need me anymore, right?
I think we
Everything's good.
fixed this submarine. I think I'm going to let him get in that escape pod, and he's going to go out there and kill himself. I think the submarine's actually the right place to be now.
I'm going to shoot through that into space. Yeah, so I mean, that is why he was here. That was his secret mission. So he's heading towards the escape pod.
All right. Let's have Shane. Why don't you give me a speed check too to see if John and Micah may meet up with you and intercept you in the armory.
Okay.
At least John, Micah, I assume you guys are heading back towards the navigation room.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't have strong feelings either way. I was going to dick around here in the engine room for a little while and make sure that all the little gauges and meters actually look like they're doing the right thing now. Like there's no other repairs we need to do.
I rolled a 91. So.
Oh, nice and slow. Nice and slow on that speed check then. Micah, you and John, let me know what you want to do. But currently, you can intercept Shane in the armory if you so wish. You obviously don't know that he's making his way to the escape pods. But you can at least intercept him in some way if that's what you wish. Or you can stay in the engine bay and make sure things are running smoothly on that side.
Can I radio the captain and ask him if he's if all systems look good from his end? Like, can we start to ascend?
Yep. The captain does say he now has controls over the navigation terminal. It is very responsive, and he can start ascending the submarine back to the surface.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of think we're good.
I'm going to tell the captain we need to rise as quickly as possible. There are multiple worms in the ballast tank. We got worms in the ballast tank.
Captain tells
Actually,
Dr. Lex.
that's what we should do. Is just urge the captain to go, and abandon Dr. Lex down here.
Rise.
Dr. Lex, if you make your way to the escape pods, you can shoot yourself out. But yeah, the captain is going to wait for you to hit the button on the escape pod, and he's going to take that submarine back up. He's not going to wait for you.
Well, I'm going down in the escape pod and click.
All right.
Pressing that button.
As you close the hatch door in the escape pod, you look over to the side hatch, and there is an Ulok that is eating the rations that you left in there.
What? My beanie weenie.
He's eating your damn pork and beans.
So the Ulok turns to you, senses a threat, and you guys have to go through some combat. So what
Let's
do
do
you
it.
want to do to the Ulok?
Scalpel time.
Go for it. Roll for a scalpel. If you fail, the worm will then retaliate and deal damage to you.
Failure.
The worm is then going to, because you failed and you got closer with your scalpel, the worm is then going to try to bite into your hazard suit. So I have to roll 2d8 damage. So 4 and an 8. That is 12 damage. Your hazard suit just shreds. So there's now just a giant gaping hole in the hazard suit, and the worm has crawled into your hazard suit and is now writhing around trying to find one of your orifi.
No, not my orifi.
So you're down to 8 health. That's the full 12, and your hazard suit is now destroyed.
And the hazard suit, will it automatically absorb and be removed, or how do I do this?
No, it only absorbs when you're below. Sorry, it does block. It blocks 5 damage.
Yeah.
So you'll take 7.
I'm currently at 13. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. What do you want to do, Shane?
Do you still have the hazard suit under armor, or does that destroy it when you do that?
It's now destroyed. Yeah. So if you
gone.
scroll down on the right, you can click on. Oh, is it already destroyed?
Yeah, I applied it to the hazard
Oh, yes,
suit,
it's
and it
destroyed.
says destroyed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's flailing around this tiny little room, and he's just trying to stab with that scalpel.
All right. Let's go again. Give me another check.
Yes.
Nice.
Success.
All right. Roll for damage.
5.
Ooh.
Dead
Yeah.
worm.
You absolutely pulverize this Ulok.
No one
so,
eats
yeah.
my beady weenies. No one.
Yeah, so the Ulok is dead. It's just got a bunch of holes in it now. It's a colander.
Kunk on the button.
All right. Escape pod shoots out from the ship. While you were in combat, the ship was slowly rising, which makes it a little tougher now for you to reach this alien artifact sphere on the ocean floor. I need you to roll me a speed check,
This could be bad.
and we will see if you are able to adequately grab the artifact with the controls you have on the escape pod. As it goes down, you can try to grab it, and then the escape pod's then it's going to fill with oxygen and pop up to the surface.
Yep. Here we go. Come on. 12. Yes. Wow. Got my alien eye.
Nice.
Man, I thought
All
for
right.
sure there was no possible way. The whole thing you showed up for.
All right, Shane, we're going to have some fun. You and the escape pod, you shoot down, and then you use the controls that you have. The arm extends, grabs the alien artifact, brings it into the escape pod with you. And the arm is just sitting there, and you're staring at this artifact. What would you like to do?
I don't know. I think the good ending for the doctor here would be he's staring at it and he's looking into this eye and the iris. It's actually like an eye, and the iris opens up and you just see space and stars and galaxies. And then, if there's a camera angle behind the eye looking at the doctor, he's just this smiles, this rictus kind of grin. He's just getting this huge, like he's just losing his mind staring into this, and then that's it.
Perfect. Covered in pork and beans on the camera.
It takes a bite out of that worm.
Yep. That's perfect. That's perfect. The rest of the ship, the rest of the ship continues rising up to the surface. The Rymor 89 breaks through the top of the waterline, and the captain sends out a distress signal for the nearest ship to come pick you guys up. And that's pretty much it. You guys do see in the distance, you do see the emergency pod just floating away in the distance. And no matter how many times you hail, nobody responds.
Yeah,
that's the end of.
I'll give Jadon an ending too. So once we surface and everything's fine, he starts this big argument with the captain about man, don't I at least get my boarding fee back? I paid for a nice, relaxing tour. I had to burn my PTO for this, man.
Oh, that's perfect. John, the captain throws you your salary and says, "Since you also had to cover for Ivan, here's his salary too."
Huzzah! I can buy more cards. Where's the nearest Circle K? I need a white monster.
Alrighty, y'all. That's Alone in the Deep. That's the Rymor 89.
Yeah, that was
Hell yeah.
great.
Everybody kind of survived. Everybody got their objectives completed.
Yeah, that was a really nice one. There at the tail end of it, I was ready. If Gore and I had been walking past that escape hatch while Shane was having the fight with the Ulok, if it was looking bad for him, I was ready to close the hatch, lock him in there, and just be like, "Yep, we're good. Going home, guys."
And if I lasted to my one last point, I was go frag grenade it. Just
I forgot you had them grenades.
yeah. So I'd hit the button and launch it, and it would have shot out, and then y'all would have just seen it go. That was good. That was really good, AJ. Now, did you tell me, is this correct? You've never run a game before?
My first time to being a GM.
Yeah. No, you did great.
For anything?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, first time ever.
Nice job.
Yeah, and now
Thank you.
you've won the coveted prize if you get to do it all the time from now on. Good job. Yay.
You broke the seal.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
that was fun. That's a good
Do you guys
system,
want to?
too.
Do you guys want to hear some of the secret stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. In the sleeping quarters, you guys could have searched the storage lockers that were at the foot of each of the beds. The captain's storage locker it was completely empty, except it had a Polaroid picture of him, his wife, and his child. And Dr. Kapotsky's chest had orders to secretly bring back a sample of the Ulak alive with a loaded gun.
Could have found another gun in there.
Yep. Let's
That might have been
see.
nice.
Every 30 minutes of game time, I rolled dice, and depending on what the dice roll was, that told me which room in the submarine the Ulaks had already invaded. So as you guys passed into that room, I then had Ulaks attack you. Like I rolled dice, and they were in the research lab, which is why I was in the breast pocket of your hazard suit, John. Yeah, what else? Yeah, obviously Dr. Kapotsky had the Ulak hive inside of him. As soon as anything touched the hive, 2d4 Ulaks just explode out of him and just immediately attack. So that was pretty awesome.
What was the? Was there actually a purpose for the torpedoes? Could we have
No.
shot those at the things outside, or do they not really matter?
I was debating with the ending, with Shane's ending where he got the artifact. I was debating whether or not I wanted that artifact to communicate with the captain and demand that the captain shoot the escape pod as Shane was coming up.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, no, I'm kind of want. I was like, it's already 11 p.m. I think it's about time that we call the story. But yeah.
he worked hard enough for it. Let him survive and go mad staring at his artifact.
Exactly. What other secrets were there? When I told you that the locker in the weapon closet in the armory was closed again.
Yeah, if Jadon had been a curious feller, what was up with that?
That's where the captain stored Ivan's body.
So yeah, if I had opened that locker, probably actually a bunch of worms would have jumped out at me, huh?
Ivan was infected, but not enough for it for them to procreate in his body yet.
Spread like it had on the scientists. Okay.
Yeah. He was definitely infected, but it was not enough time for all the worms to go crazy.
Yeah, that'd have probably been
You
a
just had a
fear
body
check.
fall on you. Yep. You body fall on you, do a fear check or something. Yep.
Yeah,
no.
when we
think that's
discovered that little research lab off the engine bay, once we realized what was going on in there, I was just sure that we'd get everything fixed and maybe actually have a chance at survival, and then go back to the navigation room and it just be covered in worms and we all die anyway. I was just sure that's what was going to happen.
Yeah.
That is that's one of the bad things. Like if I roll and the roll is in the navigation room, as you guys re-enter the navigation room, you see the captain that there are new holes in the walls because the Ulaks have invaded from the outside of the ship into the navigation room, and the captain is fighting like two Ulaks trying to get back to the navigation terminal. And if water fills up enough in that room, it destroys the navigation panel and the submarine is dead in the water.
Yeah, I figured that that body being in there with the captain, there was an Ulak in him, and it was going to take out the captain, and then we're at the bottom of the ocean trying to figure out how to drive a submarine.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole thing. I think the only additional secret is in the sleeping quarters. If something goes horribly awry and water fills up the sleeping quarters, you can't decipher Kapotsky's orders to bring back the Ulak sample alive. So
Yeah,
that's the only.
for such a compact setting, there's like plenty to do because there's so much that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. What did you guys think? Did you guys have a good time?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
awesome.
it was
Yeah.
excellent.
That's a nice one.
It's amazing that you've never run one before.